crushing it. I completely agree with everything here, and I honestly just want to give time for somebody who has a new thought because I love all that.
I have two thoughts on that. One is we missed a big opportunity with the DOJ settlement to get to where we work the binding arbitration in the police contract. That's an absence of leadership and an absence of vision with regard to what Portland's police force needs to look like. When you talk about what our police are going to do in the future, they need to have a mandate, and it's not going to come from outside. It's going to come from within, and that's what I'm told. I'm not a police officer, but that's what I'm told. So we need to make sure that they have the resources that they need to make the cultural change from within, the education, the training, the time to do the training, but also the understanding that this isn't going to happen overnight. As a community, we have to have a vision for what we want our police to be. And that vision, I think, is that we want them to be actively anti-racist. We want a police that understands they are the guardians of the public good and ultimately the repository of our trust. And that is what I think a vision from the leadership needs to look like, and we're going to have to work really hard as a community to get us there together.
So the cops are probably going to kill me before I get to be the mayor for the things I'm about to say to you. First of all, we need to make sure that our police department has an insurance policy. When it becomes too expensive for you to be a killer cop, you need to be removed from the office because of financial things, not judgmental things. Second, if you thought I was going to get through this debate without saying that it is an absolute disgrace to the people of Portland that Mark Kruger is still employed and is in charge of the eviction of black families when everybody knows he's a Nazi fetishist. And the fact that there's only 20 of you clapping and 40 of you booed me shows exactly what's wrong with Portland. And I don't need your 40 votes. Go ahead, Martin.
So, I want to go back to what Ted said about policy, because I think that is actually kind of the key to the question that you asked, which is that the reason that we were forced to bring an officer back on that our police force and our leaders of our police force had decided they did not want to have on the police force was because of our policy. We have to change our policy, and we have to have a mayor that is willing to listen to the groups in the community that are experts on this. Okay? They're experts in the community in terms of our communities of color in our community, but also within our legal community. There are folks that work on this issue specifically. I've worked with ACLU, Oregon Justice Resource Center. This is what we need.
We have to be proactive. We can't just wait when something happens and then sit on the stairs until something else happens. Talk is cheap. In all of our communities, we need to be involved. After a situation occurs, we need to stay there. We can't go back. The mayor cannot go back and sit down in their office and around the constituents when people are hurting. We have to be proactive so that the situation will not continue to occur and occur and occur again in all of our communities. Northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, all over. We need to be proactive and we need to train. Cannot assume that our officers are well trained. We need to put the right people in place to train them. Thank you.
We do need police officers out of their cars and on the streets. Community policing works. We showed that in Portland in the 90s so we can have safe streets and police that we know. But here's how we do it. We have a police staffing ratio that is amongst the bottom of cities our tier. We have a crisis of morale, and we have police officers that are stretched really thin and under a lot of stress. So I've pledged that we need to address that staffing ratio so that we can have the officers in the police bureau who can be on the streets working with the community, getting to know neighbors, and understanding how this city works. That's got to be part of the solution.
Okay, time for a yes or no question. Raise your hand if your answer is yes. Do you support incentives to encourage Portland police officers to actually live in Portland? Sarah's questioning.
Hey, can we all give it up for Elena, is that right? Alana, our timekeeper. That's the most nerve-wracking thing in the house. So thank you very much. We're starting, I guess, with Ted, is that right? Can you give 3 examples of how you're going to increase affordable housing stock in PDX?
Number 1, change the zoning Currently, in parts of the city, garden apartments are not legal. We're not allowed to have duplexes except on corners. Auxiliary dwelling units are a cheap, inexpensive way for people to increase density that's appropriate in the neighborhood. We've got to get the state of Oregon's Department of Revenue through the county assessor on the same page with the city of Portland that supports that. We've got to ensure that the city's own processes around affordable housing creation aren't stepping on the air hose of new supply. The design review process can take a lot of time, cost a lot of money. That adds to the cost of the housing stock, and I'm sure there's other ways too.